Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sun. Run, river, run over me.
Welcome to be my guest today. We have back for another encore appearance. We have Lisa Shea. She's a local author, and boy does this girl write. I mean, you've written everything from local mysteries, books for adults, you know, children's, just telling me about children's books. So no wonder you're always writing.
Yes, I love to write.
How many books in all have you written?
Over 300. But some of them are short, so there's
how
short
many
stories,
years?
long stories. I started when I was very little, writing short stories and writing some of my medieval romances when I was a teenager, but most of them have been the past 5 years.
The past 5 years.
Yeah.
How many books again?
Over 300.
Over 300 books in 5 years. Do you sleep?
Yeah.
Do you eat?
My boyfriend does all the cooking, so.
Oh, you lucky
I
girl.
just have to ask for things and the food comes in while I'm writing.
So you do literally, I'm trying to get a line on this. Do you get up in the first thing in the morning with your breakfast, start writing?
Well, I think the more you write, the easier it gets, so I can write a chapter an hour, so, you know, there's 30 chapters, so that's like a week for a book if you're doing the first draft of it, so it goes pretty quickly.
For notes, for ideas that well, obviously you're an idea girl, big time. Do you keep pads inside of you in the car and different places?
Oh yeah, I highly recommend that for anyone interested in writing, to always keep pads with you, or you can do it on your smartphone. You can, give yourself a voicemail note even.
Really?
So if you're driving, you can just, call yourself and leave yourself a voicemail or something.
See,
like
I'm not that techie minded, but that's a really cool idea. My son is a poet. I should tell him about that. Now, I am looking at a ton of books. We have talked about, well, I'm reading this again, the Sutton, Massachusetts Mysteries. It's a big book, but I really like it because I could picture Sutton and all the places. That's I think one of your nicest qualities is you know how to get right into the local stuff. People around here can picture it. But even if you're not from around here, her descriptions, I mean, Purgatory Chasm and all these different things, and the story is flowing along. You don't put too many characters in, which is to your benefit, because believe me, if there's too many characters, I can't do it.
Yep.
It's just, if I have to keep going back and saying, okay, who is this again? I'm like, oh, I get discouraged. We are going to feature today about, is it the Black Cat?
Sure.
All right, can you hold this up and we will get this out there. Black Cat, volumes 1 through 31. Is this the first one?
Well, no, this
Hold it up
is...
so long enough so Paul can zero in on it.
There you go.
Black Cat, volumes 1 through 31. Salem, Massachusetts. Perfect timing. We're near October. Mini Mysteries.
Yep, so this is an example of the short stories that I write. There's 31 stories in here, and they're compiled together to form one overarching story with the 31 components. So on October 1st, I think I wrote that in 2014. October 1st, I wrote the first book, and I published it that night, so people were reading it on October 2nd. October 2nd, I wrote the second book and published that, so people were reading it the next day. And I kept doing that, publishing one story a day until October 31st, which is Halloween.
The Lucky Cat.
Yes.
That was the first one.
Yep.
You don't have to be a cat lover. I mean, this is like a funky mystery, like around October, Halloween. What perfect timing for you to focus. When did you start writing this one?
So I think that was 2014. So I think October 1st, 2014, October 2nd. So I wrote them one a day all the way through to October 31st.
You wrote 31 books?
Well, they're all short stories.
Yeah.
But yes.
But that's still a lot.
And the nice thing was that when I published the first book, I had a bunch of people reading it, and then they were able to give me feedback on it, so then I could change book 2 to be the way they wanted it, and then they gave me more feedback. So I had all these people giving me information as I was writing.
So they were giving you the feedback during it, editing it, kind of.
Yep.
It's a beautiful cover. Did you choose the cover?
Yeah, no, I designed the cover. I designed all my covers.
That's the beauty of, I keep telling the authors, self-publish, because if you go to, I suppose if you're going to even get accepted, it could be a year and you get dumped, but if you get accepted into one of the big publishers, that's it. They're going to pick your cover, and you may not like it, but they don't care.
Yep, I know many
and
authors.
They're also not going to get the word out there for you either. You're on your own.
Yeah.
Being a publicist, I mean, I get the girls scheduled and all, and the guys, but they sort of like dump you. Okay, we accepted you. Here's your books. Now go out there. Well, really.
And it's even worse if they choose a cover you hate. I have several friends who went with big publishers and they hate the cover, but now they have to go out and hold it up next to them and say, this is my book. It hits you emotionally, and it makes it a lot harder for you to market it.
You have done so well. Now this is the latest. First of all, how can they get a hold of Black Cat?
It's on Amazon.
It's on Amazon?
And the first book is free on Amazon, Apple, Kobo.
Are you
all the
going to
different
be
systems.
donating a copy downstairs to the
Yeah,
author's
yeah.
wall? Okay. So if you can't afford right now and you want to borrow it to read it and get the word out greatly by that author's wall, come on down to the Upton Town Library if you're in the area and check out Black Cat. This is just the first. Now, the one that I'm reading again is Sutton, Massachusetts Mysteries. Yes, it's a juicy big fat one, but it's great and I love it. And you know, it flows. It flows. And you just don't get lost in it. It's a really good one. So that one's a good one. Now,
Yep, so that's actually books 1 to 3 of the series.
okay, so it's
So
the
that's
third.
Aspen, Birch, and Cedar.
Okay, hold
are
up
that.
Aspen first.
Okay.
Aspen, that's the Aspen one.
Yeah.
And that takes place in Sutton.
Yep, so this is book 1 in that. That's books 1 to 3 that you've got.
This is 1 to 3 in the Sutton Mysteries.
Yep.
And yours is,
Aspen, which is the first book.
you're the first book.
Yep. And then Birch is the second book, which is the middle book in that thing that you have.
It's the middle one.
Yeah.
And it's got the boat on it. You have a real knack for designing because your covers grab you.
Well, this is the Sutton Drive-In. They turned it into a paintball field, so they put a boat in there so the paintball fighters could have somewhere to hide.
I did not know. Somebody did something with it.
Well, they've taken it down again. When I wrote that book, it was a paintball field, and then someone was going to buy the drive-in, so they took the paintball field out, but now it's just vacant again.
When was it to pay? How many years ago?
Well, here, let's see. I have to check my own book. So this was 2014 when this book came out. I write these one a year.
Yeah.
So yeah, in 2014 it was a paintball field.
And I was driving right by it, and there's this old boat. Is that still there?
I don't know if it's there anymore. It was there during the paintball phase of the drive-in's
I
life.
think it was back in 1989. It was still showing pictures.
Yep.
About the last of it. I remember going there on a date, and I remember going there. What shut it down? I heard that nobody's bought it because there's an awful lot of debt on that.
Well, it could be now. They shut it down because the traffic was backed up and there's a hill there. So
Yeah.
people would come over the hill and then there'd be a pile of traffic right there. So it was really dangerous.
But I wonder why somebody hasn't scooped up the property for something.
Well, I imagine trying to take down everything and pull up all the concrete that's there for that the cars had been sitting on it. It must be a big challenge compared to if it was a field or.
And what now, Cedar?
And then Cedar is the third book in that series. So
That's the third one.
So the big book you have is the first 3 books stuck together.
Yeah, they were all together, but it's all in one story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they all connect together.
Yeah.
All of these stories connect together.
And then this was
This is the third book.
the third one.
Yep, Cedar
Conundrum.
And that's a picture of the Millbury bike path. So that's the Millbury train bridge, and you're standing underneath the bike path with the different layers of the train
I've never
bridge.
seen the Millbury bike path from this angle. When I go to the mall,
Mhm.
I see it just where they get on their bikes and start.
Yeah.
Where is this located in?
That's about halfway down the path where you're standing underneath the bike path. So I was trying to get the layers of the train bridge and then the reflection and then the bike path and then the reflection.
Kind of like right near where 146 goes by.
Yeah, yeah.
No wonder I have it. I don't think a lot of people realize about this fantastic. Does this go to is this in any way connected to the Charles River bike path over in Milford?
They're planning on connecting a lot of these things together, but right now there's lots of little pieces that
Yeah.
don't quite connect.
I know
So
that
we'll get there.
years ago I used to go to the Cape Cod Rail Trail,
Mhm.
and my boyfriend and I used to take our bikes and just we didn't think anything of just going down the whole rail trail.
Yeah,
That was a
yeah.
lot of. Do you do that too?
Yeah.
You do. So you're into the biking.
Yep. My boyfriend works at Trek Stop, which is the bike shop in Grafton.
Oh, that's the new one on 140. Right?
Yes, the one that looks like a train station.
I have seen that and gone by it. We wondered what was going to go, what
Mhm.
was being built.
Mm-hmm.
And finally we said, my gosh, it's a bike store.
Mhm.
How's he doing?
Oh, very well.
It's kind of cool because in the traffic, people coming home from work, there's park there.
Yeah.
Where are they going to look?
Mhm.
Trek Stop.
Yeah.
Bikes are a biggie. And the one that I got recently as a gift from my husband was the kind that actually I grew up with. It's
Mhm.
back again,
Mhm.
without the gears on the thing.
Yeah.
It's just the regular old, the Columbia maybe, with you do your foot brake.
Mhm.
And it's cool because it's a little bit wider. And let me tell you, those bike seats,
Mhm.
I have to get the cushy one.
Mhm.
I don't like those little ones.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not even going to go into what that can do to you. That is not a comfortable seat for an adult.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want it. So congratulations, now I know who's running it. Now if I go in there, I'm going to say, I know your wife. So, now, we've got that one. Now Dogwood Dilemmas?
Yep, so that's book 4.
Yeah.
So that would be, once you finish those 3,
Yeah.
this would be the next book to read.
Dogwood Dilemmas. Why the camera?
The story starts with me using my Holga camera. That's a film camera,
Yeah.
a medium format film, which is thicker than the 35 millimeter
Yeah.
old type of film. And the story starts with me taking pictures with the Holga in the snow mound that's always in the post office parking lot in the winter.
Morgan's drawn into yet another mystery. Love this. This one set against the backdrop of Purgatory Chasm and Lake Quinsigamon, the Quabbin Reservoir, and Ramshorn Pond. Through it all, with the support of her friends and Jason, she seeks a path of truth and peace. Now, Jason is the park ranger?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I kind of figured he was going to be maybe a love interest because I thought he sounds pretty cool, and she liked him. And when I look at your beautiful camera in this, I think of my husband is a professional photographer.
Oh, great!
Of course, he has the whole setup. What I do is I go to Walmart and they're still making them, but they up the price to like $10. But you know, the little indoor-outdoor works for me. You know, all I need is to just get it just right. They come out beautifully.
Yeah, well, even cell phone pictures are doing very well now.
My son uses his cell phone. He said, my son's 25. He said to me, "What's that?" The little one.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was kidding or what. I said, "It's little indoor-outdoor." He's like, "Mom." I'm like, "Yeah. It's going to look just as good as yours." It really does.
Yeah.
Now, we were looking at a lot of books here. So, how can people get the whole series of these?
Well, Aspen Allegations, if they read ebooks, that's for free on Amazon and Apple and all the different systems, or it's in most of the local libraries.
Yeah.
And then the other ones should also be in the libraries, or they can get them on Amazon.
When I got my delivery of her, I think you sent me 3 or 4 of your books, right? I said, it's like Christmas to me, especially if I know the author and I know what they do. And I love mysteries. I'm like, yes. You know, they give it to me at the post office. I'm like, and it's nice and juicy and heavy. I don't even wait to get home. I like this, you know. I'm like, yes, it's from Lisa. And I can see like the return address, and I know they're going to be cool. You just know it. But now, Lisa, you started writing when you were a kid.
Yeah.
How old?
Well, I guess when I was like 6 to 8, I was writing little short stories about things. But it's when I got into high school, about 13, that I was writing the full-length medieval novels at that point.
At 13.
Well, but I was writing them for myself. I started school a year early, so I was always like the little kid in class, and so people didn't talk to me much. So that was my escape, was writing stories for myself.
So when you started first grade, you were 5.
Probably, yes, that sounds right.
Or did you go to preschool at 3?
No, we didn't have preschool.
Okay, so yeah, I had just turned 6 when I went to first
Yeah, so
grade.
I was probably 5.
5 in kindergarten, 6 in first grade. My little guy, nowadays, I think he was about 3.5 when he went to preschool, like for 2 years, 3 and 4. And for him, it was kind of good. And then he went to kindergarten, then he went to first grade. You know, being an only child, I thought, this is good, get out there.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I'm not the only face in the world to see.
All
You
the
know,
socialization.
get out there. Do you have kids, Lisa?
Yep, I have one son,
How old is he?
28.
Oh, so your son and mine are both in the same, in the category. What is his, does he write?
He wrote a book. It's a nonfiction about the history of the world and sociology of different cultures.
Oh, so he's bright like Mom.
Yeah.
Does hubby write at all? Your boyfriend?
No.
Doesn't write?
No.
What did you, now when you went to high school, you graduated, you went to college, where did you go?
Well, I went to Worcester Polytech for a year, but then I dropped out and got married, so I only recently got my actual degree at Northeastern.
You went to Northeastern?
Yeah.
And you majored in?
Leadership.
You can major in something like leadership?
Yep, and with a lot about motivating people from different cultures, because I run Bella Online, which is a large women's website, so we've got...
Bella, what's it called now?
BELLA online.com.
Just two words?
Just one big word.
Bella, and then put online.
Yep.
And it'll just pop up. And it's for women.
Yep, it's we've got 400 women around the world who write different topics, so birding, quilting, family care, those different sorts of things.
And they just write what they can just tell you, I want to write something?
Yep, so that they all write on their whatever topic that they've chosen to write about, so say mystery books or something like that. And we teach them how to market and how to write well for the web and how to monetize their efforts. So we're trying to train them up to become self-sufficient.
Aha, from all over the world.
Right, so part of why I took the leadership class, a lot of it's about working with people from different cultures, learning the different ways to motivate them and make them happy, because the way you talk to someone from Australia might be different from the way you talk to someone from India. They hear the words in different ways.
Yeah, and also hand signals. You got to watch out, because when we say in America victory, I'm not so sure my Middle Eastern friend's going to get it. So keep the hands down, you know.
Yeah.
What I love to see, just off the subject, but is the sign language. I love that. I mean, it just, when you watch it during the hurricane on TV and you see the person there, fascinates me. Now, you went to college. Did you ever work in corporate for a while? Did you say you had?
Yep. Oh, when I left WPI, I worked for a lot of the local biotech, so Cambridge Biotech, Biogen. So I did a lot of database development and programming.
Did you like it?
Oh yeah, I loved it.
So what made you say, the heck with this, I'm going to just write?
Well, I didn't start out writing. I started out running Bella Online because they needed someone to help them with the programming. So I took on the programming for that, and then when they had issues, I took on the whole website.
You took it on?
Yeah.
You bought it, basically?
Yeah.
You bought it. Bella Online, so if you are, well, this is not we're off topic for a minute, but if a woman is looking how to get the word out more about what she's doing, she can come on that.
Yeah.
Can she describe to others and sort of like blog about herself, or does she have to sign up to learn with you?
Well, the topics are all more non-fiction types of topics, so it's not about a woman's personal life, it's more about, like there's a step-parenting site that would be about how to deal with the challenges of being a step-parent, or there's a site on New England, it would be about the different fun things you can do in New England.
It's affordable for most girls, right, to do that?
Well, it's free to
get on Bella?
Yes. Yeah, we do all the training and everything for free, because our aim is to help women who don't have a lot of opportunities find a way to build their own skill set.
Now, you've been appearing through the years, giving book signings. Where are you going to be coming out?
Barnes & Noble has a young adult festival coming up on Saturday.
Which Barnes & Noble?
The Millbury.
Oh, I love the Millbury one.
Yep, so it'll all be about teenage girls, 13 to 17, learning different writing skills and learning what goes into writing. So we'll have a panel at 1 with a couple of our local authors talking about different ways to get into writing and self-publishing.
Will you be doing it too?
Yeah.
You'll be there. So it's going to be the 23rd or the 30th?
23rd.
Okay, at 1.
Yep, and then I'm doing a talk there at 4 or 5 with a fellow author about finding your own authentic voice, about learning how to write with your own thoughts instead of, a lot of young writers tend to mimic or do fan fiction for other authors, and they try to sound like the other author instead of sounding how they would sound naturally.
Have you been appearing and doing book signings?
Well,
presentations?
I've got the next Sutton Mass Mystery is coming out shortly, the Elm Espionage, and I'll start doing a round of book signings for that as soon as that comes out.
Where do you go? Do you go around here?
Yeah, there's oh, I'm going to forget his name now. There's a bookstore in Sutton that's new, a children's bookstore called Enchanted Passages, I think.
Now that's cool. We need more children's bookstore. Enchanted Passages? Where is it in Sutton?
It's where the old Valancourt used to be.
Yes.
Okay.
Gotcha.
That's part of what I make fun of in the Sutton mystery books, but that really is how we refer to places in here. Where the Blue Jay burnt down, you take a right.
Yeah, I know. Now, do you know the owners now of it?
Yeah.
You do? Okay, that's great. You have we've got a new children's bookstore, and they're already up and flourishing.
Yes.
Okay, so they're there. I don't know of any other particular. I know one of the well, there's 2. I've always talked about Tatnuk. I love, and they're very author friendly.
Oh yeah, no, I'll be out there.
Yeah, I've
when I sit
given you that big room in the back. Gosh, I love that. If you're shy though, if you're a new author, you can sit at the table up front.
Yeah.
I say, why don't you try that first, see if you like it and all. But then there's Book Lovers Gourmet in Webster.
Yep, we've been there.
Deborah Horan.
Yep.
She is terrific, and she runs it, and she's very open to her author. The author's coming. I've sent many authors to her. It's the cutest little shop.
Yep.
Don't they have coffee there and everything?
Well, and I belong to the Blackstone Valley Art Association. We just did a sunflower show there for the month of August. We had all our sunflower artwork on the walls.
Is that the one that's a little based in Uxbridge? You have like a little showroom there?
We have a showroom now. Yes, Uxbridge.
I think there's a lot of different, we're right off of 122 in the center of town. My husband and I had visited it a while back. It's still there?
Yes.
How are they doing?
Oh, very well.
How many talents do you have? She's an artist,
enjoy life.
an author, and you're great at, well, if you went to WPI, my gosh, I mean, you must be terrific at math.
Oh, reasonably good.
Really, really good at it. I'm honest to God, I don't know how you do it. What your hours when you write, from what time of the day to when do you stop?
Well, normally I wake up about 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and then I write around and through the dark hours, because especially with my websites, if I have to reboot them for some reason, I don't want to take it down in the middle of the day when people are using it, so I usually take them down at 2 or 3 in the morning.
So you're a night owl?
Yes.
You go to bed around 3?
3 or 4.
Okay. All right, I can relate to something. And then you sleep around,
Yep.
and you get up around 2.
Yep.
Now, if I'm up reading or something and book down at 1:30 or 2, and if I still can't get to sleep, I know the drill. Don't just lay there and fret. They say, get up and do something. So I
Yep.
try that, have a snack, and by 4 I can go back to sleep. It's great if I don't have to do anything the next day. I can sleep till noon. But it's awfully tough, you know. You have to get up. If you have to do something, you probably have been there. Like,
Yep,
oh my
yep.
God, I got to get up at 8. I've had 2 hours. That's not good for us.
Right.
They say that's one of the worst things we can do, you know, for our memories later in life, is to get a lot of sleep. But you make up for it.
Well, you find a way to make it work. Like there's the Hopedale Festival was this past weekend, and we
Did
had.
you go?
Yeah, well, I had a booth there to sell my books, and also with the Blackston Valley Art Association, we had a booth
You were there too.
Yeah,
Did
so
you know
that
one
was
of
very
my
early.
authors from Maine? She wrote Haunted Boston. Was she there?
I didn't see her. She could have been.
I certainly told her how to reach all, you know, the different powers that be. Sometimes people don't, they get shy.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's no reason, it's a lot of fun. If you look at it as fun,
Yeah.
you know, I always say bring someone with you, so not just so you can go to the bathroom, so you can take a break, get up and walk around, and you can have some fun. Do you ever go to the big one in July in Danversport?
No.
I know I haven't seen you, I don't think there. I think you enjoy it.
All right.
Especially with all your different collections and as the stories go along. I love how you chose the main girl is I forgot her name.
Morgan.
And then her love interest was the ranger, the park
Yep.
ranger. Over at Purgatory, I know I had met one of the young ladies and interviewed years ago, one of the park rangers. And she would set up, I took my son when he was little to this little artsy craftsy thing in their hut there, their big, kind of like a community, I don't know what you call it, community hut housing or whatever. And they have like tables and the kids could do different things. I remember meeting them and they're so nice. Where do they keep their trucks? Where are they based? Do you know? I have no idea. Do you ever go in the caves at Purgatory?
I'm thinking about it for the next book. The month of October is going to be when I write the 6th book, which will be with the letter fir.
Yeah, fir.
Well, because I'm running out of trees. I'm going to be in trouble when I hit the letter G, because I'm not sure what trees begin with the letter G. But I was thinking for the F book that maybe I'd set it down in the Purgatory Caves.
A fir tree.
But it would mean I'd have to go into the Purgatory Caves, because I always go to the places that I'm writing about, and I'm not sure I want to go into a cave. So
There's
we'll
been
see.
deaths over at Purgatory.
Well, that's why I want to write it.
You could just watch your step. My son, we didn't even go near the caves, and I was sitting at one of the little chairs, and he just came up the side of the road there, and he stumbled on a branch, broke his arm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the same arm he had broken when he fell when he was much littler. So I'm thinking, not again. This poor kid. But all we did is he just walked and stumbled on like a root.
Yep.
That was it. We didn't go near the cave. With him and his vibrant personality, we're staying away from the caves.
Yep.
You know, but I do love Purgatory. And I love the way you like I said before, she makes everything around the area, if you're familiar with Sutton and all that type of thing. It's not that far away. If you don't live around here, you're thinking, what are they talking about? Right? If you look online, you look on Massachusetts, and you look for Sutton, find Worcester.
Yeah.
Would you say it's down to the left or down to the right of Worcester?
It's pretty south. You go through Millbury and then Sutton on your way to Providence.
It's both suburban and forest around
Yeah.
here. I mean, you get the best of both worlds, and then you're very close to the city, so you get everything good. Now, again, how can they get your books?
Well, you get them from lisashea.com, or you can go to amazon.com, or pretty much any other site, because I always have the first book in a series free, so that's on Apple, iTunes, and Google Play, and
Yeah.
Kobo, and pretty much anywhere else someone would use.
Any more children's books coming up?
Well, we'll see. I've got a mythological series set, and I have the first book, Aries, out, and I'm going to go Aries, Taurus, Gemini, through all the different
Oh, you're going to do the
zodiac symbols.
astrological.
Yeah.
Are you an Aries?
No, I'm an Aquarius.
Ah, Aquarians are cool. I know a little bit, well, quite a bit about astrology, and you're not just where you were born. Like I'm a Leo, but then you take it through the moon, where the moon was. This is scientific, though. This is astronomical. This is not made up. The moon was definitely in a place in the sky, as was Jupiter. If you look on a scientific map, they were different places. Astrology just interprets it. So when I was born in Leo, but Aquarius, moon was in Aquarius at that point. So that makes you. Oh, they say they're the humanitarians. We can be a little wacky, right? I love Aquarius. My roommate in college was an Aquarius. Oh, she was more fun. I admired her a lot. I don't think she realized it, but she was go along with everything, and I was so afraid being away from that far from home.
Mhm.
I was sick. I really was. Did you get that way at college, or were you okay?
No, I was only from the Glastonbury near Hartford area, so it really wasn't that far
So you
from me.
weren't too far. Were you an only child?
No, an older sister.
Older sister. How many, do you have one beneath you?
I have one younger full sister, a half brother, half sister, and a stepbrother and a stepsister.
So that's a good sized little family.
Yeah.
And then you have your only child.
Yep.
So do I.
Mhm.
And yours is 28, mine's 25.
Yeah.
And he knows what he wants to do. He's doing it.
Yeah.
We are talking again with the lovely Lisa Shea, and she has been on our show numerous times, and she is a local author. She writes great, great stories. They follow in line with Sutton Mysteries. This isn't all. What are the names of the children's books you've written?
Well, there's a bunch of different ones. I have 14 books in my medieval romance series, so those are young adult women
Yeah.
finding their way in the world. And I've got a 10-set series of diner mysteries that have a heroine with Asperger's.
Yeah.
I've got a 8-book set of zoo mysteries with a Hispanic heroine who is older, so it's a different type of story. And a bunch of other ones.
What's your favorite?
I like all of them, but I do like the Sutton ones because those are more my personal diary. I do them
Yeah.
a chapter a day when I'm writing them, so
Yeah.
when I start the fur one in October, October 1st I'll write the first chapter, October 2nd I'll write the second chapter and go right through to the end of the month.
And that's going to be named the...
Fur something.
Fur-
Fur fiasco, maybe?
And that'll be out before Halloween.
No, 'cause
After.
these guys, I write one a year and I edit them a lot, so it'll be quite a while before it comes out because the Elm one that's coming out now I wrote last December, so I've been editing it since last
You've been doing
December.
that. You are very disciplined.
Mhm.
Those of us who maybe aren't quite as disciplined, I would be getting up, doing something else, multitasking. I got this going. Are you very neat, or do you have piles on the floor where you knew things on?
Oh no, there's piles and piles everywhere because I love to write and I
Yeah.
dislike doing other things like house cleaning. So I
You
just
like house cleaning?
No, I dislike.
Oh, I was going to say, oh.
No. So
Okay.
so where you
Yeah.
might be distracted by other things,
Yeah.
I just let the other stuff sit. I don't care if there's piles of things everywhere. So I'd rather hunker down and write because that's what's fun for me, and I'll write all day long.
She just said the key
The
word.
dishes will pile up.
That's what's fun for her.
Yeah.
You enjoy it. You can tell. Like I've said this many times when I have a guest on, you can tell by their face if they love what they do. And not only do you love what you do, you're excellent at what you do. I mean, let's keep these things coming. I can't wait. This is, I think you sent me this one.
Yes.
Right. And after I finish reading again this one, I'm going to get into this one. The Black Cat, volumes 1 through 31. They're like mini stories, Salem, Massachusetts, mini mysteries, the complete set. Go on downstairs into the library, see if you can, if somebody hasn't taken it out yet, borrow it. And this will give you a taste for Lisa's work, okay? Just part of what she does. And maybe you'll want some more. Will that be exciting, huh?
Yeah.
So Lisa, your next book coming out is?
The Elm Espionage, which is coming out on Monday, which is book 5 in my Sutton series.
Okay, so those are coming out then. In the new year, what do you think will be out?
Well, the next one, the fur book, will eventually come out once I spend a couple months editing it.
Make sure you let me know.
Yeah,
We'll
okay.
get you on again, because we always love to have our favorites. When I have a fan of somebody, a viewer come up to me and say, the gal that you had on who wrote the Sutton stories, I'm like, oh, yes. I know exactly who you're talking about. But I think you connect with me. You always remind me, I think. Don't you usually
I
get...
try to.
Right, that I've got a book. I'm like, yes. Thank you so much for coming
Sure,
back.
thank you for
We
inviting
always
me.
want you on. We'll see you next week. Next
Right.
time I'd be my guest.